Hello, good morning everyone. Hope my voice is audible to you. Can you please check whether my voice is audible? Welcome to the live session of our Ace the Mains program, which is an 18 days program. This is day number 2. I hope everyone has seen day number 1 discussion, and I hope that you have now memorized the syllabus component of it. Am I audible to you, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Okay. Thanks for the confirmation. Please allow me to share the screen. So this is our day number 2 class, where I will be discussing about investment models and infrastructure. You know this. This is the last component of your main syllabus, infrastructure energy component. So day 2 is about, I'm going to discuss investments, first. Investments and investment models. So first of all, what is an investment, ladies and gentlemen? What do you mean by an investment? Investment is the capital that is essential to start any project. Such as infrastructure projects or businesses is investments. The capital that is essential to start any business or to start any project is called as investments. Now, capital means the money that you require. The money that you require to start any business is called an investment. Now, majorly, without money, I cannot start any business. We all know this. The question is, from where we will be collecting the money? From where I will be collecting the money? That is the first question that we should know. Normally, any infrastructure project, be it energy projects or be it transportation projects that was given in the syllabus, for any project, what you require is, you require money. Now, depend upon who is keeping the money. Investments are classified into 3 types. One is public investments. Second one is private investments. Public investments and private investments. The third thing that you have is a combination of public and private. Public-private partnership, and this is the place from where they will ask the question. Now, whenever I say public, it is the investments made by government, be it government of India, or it may be state government, investments. When I say private persons can be the private individuals of your own country, or there can be foreign investors also. Now, when I say foreign investors will come in 2 types: foreign institutional investors or foreign portfolio investors, and second one is foreign direct investors. Who is a portfolio investor? They invest in the stock market. Up to 10% of the capital, not more than 10%. If they are keeping more than 10% of the entire capital that is required, they are called foreign direct investors. They will be investing in the stocks up to 10%, and they can invest only in listed companies. Only in listed companies they can invest. This is previous year prelims questions also. They cannot invest in non-listed companies. Only in listed companies you have to keep. What is a listed company? Company that is registered under stock market is called listed company. Now their aim is to make quick profits and return from the country. Quick profits and return from the country. They bring only money and they will not bring anything extra. They will not think anything extra. But when there is foreign direct investors, they come for long-term investments. One of the beauty of these investors is long-term investors. They bring currency, money. Not only that, they will also bring technology along with them, and operating and management skills, operations and maintenance skills also they will bring. Advanced things will come here. And they can invest in any industry, not only in stocks, in any industry they can start. For example, they can keep their money in the so-called any sector specific things. For example, recently Government of India opened the defense sector for foreign investors. In defense you can come and keep. In multi-brand retail sector, multi-brand retailers, you can invest your money. Or banking sector, any sector they can go. Sector specific they can go. There is no need that you have to be listed in the stock market. Even unlisted companies also they can go, because they are investing more than 10%. The beauty of this is they are here for long term. Their objective is not to make quick profits. Their objective is to ensure that they are capturing the market in the long term. So like this, foreign investors will come, and FDIs are, these are the advantages of FDI. Whatever the foreign direct investors will come, they give you not only money. Now with this money, what it will develop, these are the foreign players, they will be bringing you foreign currencies like US dollars. Through this, forex reserves of the government is going to increase. Forex reserves of the government is also going to increase. RBI forex reserves increases. They bring latest technology. As a result, we can capture the emerging technology in any sector. For example, if they are coming into the defense sector, if a public-private partner is coming, if a foreign partner is coming here, they will bring technology. That technology we will learn and we will also implement it. They bring operational efficiency, how to manage the industry effectively. All these things we will be learning. As a result, we will be competing with the global industry. These are the advantages of foreign direct investments. So what I am saying is, what is an investment? The capital that is essential to start a business is called investments. It is of two types. That can be for infrastructure projects, business, agriculture, anywhere you require money. Now who can keep the money? The money can be kept by public, that is government. Either that could be union government or it can be state governments, not central government. Use the term union government in answer writing. Union. Constitution of India describes the center as union. Nowhere center was used. So formally it has to be union government and state government. Now who can keep private investments? It can be Mukesh Ambani, Adani, who is present inside India. These are Indian investors, private people. Or you can also be getting investments from foreign countries. There are two types of investments: foreign institutional investors, foreign direct investments. Now you should know what is the difference between foreign institutional investors, foreign direct investors. That is important for prelims, by the way. Most importantly, you have to understand foreign direct investments, because this is the place where they will stress mains question. One area of stressing the question is this: what is the advantage of foreign direct investments in investing in defense sector, brand retail sector? If they ask any sector, whatever the sector is, you should know the basics of foreign direct investments. What is the advantage of foreign direct investments? If you know that, you can answer these questions. This is one way of getting here. Now look at this. So public can keep it, private can keep it, public-private partnership. Before going into public-private partnership, you have to understand what are the advantages of government investment, what are the advantages of private investments. Once you understand that, you will appreciate the beauty of public-private partnership. Take for example public, where Government of India is investing. Public investments is Government of India investments or state government's investments. Now whenever Government of India is investing, be it union government or state government, whoever it is, the advantage is, as government is the investor, in order to start any project you require clearances for infrastructure projects. Clearance. You require licenses from the government. There should be no law and order problem from the local people. All these things government can effectively exercise. They can give you clearances. They can give you licenses quickly. No law and order problem because it is a public project. Government police will be present there and they can deal this effectively. But what government institutions lack is they do not have the capacity to construct the project. For engineering, they will not be that much effective. Engineering a project, they will be very, very poor. To procure the resources, it is very difficult for them. To construct the project, it is very difficult to them. Take for example, one simple way of understanding, Hyderabad or Bangalore metro you want to construct. Government, if it is taken by the state government of Telangana or state government of Bangalore, Karnataka, what they can do? They can give clearances for this railway network. They can get licenses, they can make sure that law and order problems are not coming. But it will be difficult for Hyderabad Municipal Corporation or Hyderabad agencies or Bangalore agencies to construct this. We should engineer it. We have to design the layout. We have to procure the raw material. We have to construct. It is very, very difficult. They lack this efficiency in construction, designing and procurement of materials. All these things, procurement of materials, all these things they lack. Hence, the operational cost will start going up due to lack of efficiency, lack of advanced technologies with them, poor capacities to operate. Their cost is going to increase. They are not going to complete the project with the time if it is taken by government alone. This is one of the biggest challenges of public sector. As a result, it is unnecessarily increasing the tax burden or it is creating waste of resources, particularly financial resources. Resources are not effectively utilized if I just depend on public. To overcome this problem, we have the second model that is called private model. The advantages of private model are they are very good at engineering, procurement and construction activities because they advance, they are efficient in operation. They know the technology's evolution. They will capture the technology and they will be ready to complete the project within a short span of time. Take for example L&T constructing Hyderabad metro. Why we have given to L&T? This is somewhat having this efficiency in this. But the problem that they face is if the project is completely private project, they will face these hurdles. They cannot get licenses quickly from the government. They will not get clearances. If it is something like a forest land, there will be law and order problems for the private people because this is a private industry. You have to ensure that there is no law and order problem. So these are the deficiencies, whereas these becomes advantages. Now if you carefully observe, if the private person is keeping 100% money and starting the business, he is facing some problem. If the private person is keeping 100% money and he is starting the business, he is facing some problem. If government is keeping 100% of money and if it is starting the project, it is facing some problem. So there was some contradictions if you start individually on your own. Hence what it requires is, we have to create an agreement in such a way that we will overcome the deficiency of public sector as well as private sector and thereby we will synergize the positives of both. So remove the differences, enhance the positivity. That can be possible. If you want to eliminate, if you look at this, exactly the positives of public is going to be negatives of private, the private positives are going to be negatives of public. So you should eliminate the negatives and create positives. For that, what you created is the model of public-private partnership. Let these two people come together. They will overcome their negatives that they have individually, and they can synchronize their positives. As a result, clearance will be simple, licenses will be simple, no law and order problem, engineering, procurement, construction can be done within a short span of time, efficiency will increase, cost will be within the reasonable amount, and we can effectively use the resources. All the advantages of public-private partnership. All are advantages of public-private partnership. Thus, public-private partnerships have emerged. So whenever they ask what are the advantages of public-private partnership, this is the thing that we have to write. Normally, this is the thing that we have as far as money is considered and investments is considered. But the question is, look at here. The problem becomes, from where government of India is going to get this money? Because as I said, you want investment for infrastructure projects and businesses. Take for example any infrastructure projects. The infrastructure projects are long duration projects. They are long duration projects. Any infrastructure projects. Take for example construction of airports, construction of railways, construction of dams like Polavaram. From the last 10 years they have been constructing it. One of the biggest challenge in infrastructure projects is they are long-term projects, or they are long gestational projects. The gestational period is very, very high. So if I am keeping the money today, after 10 years or 15 years I am going to return. I am going to get that return slowly. I cannot wait for 10 years or 15 years to get my return back. Because whatever the money that I have to keep in these projects, the capital requirement is very high. It is not small requirement, it requires large requirement. Construction of dam requires crores of money. Construction of railways requires crores of money. So on one side I require high amount for long gestation projects. From where I have to get this money? Government will not have the capacity, private people will not have the capacity to get the money all alone. We will be dependent on some borrowings. We have to go to the bank and we have to get it. The banks normally will give it. But banks, look at the problem of banks. Banks will be reluctant to give for long-term projects. If you are going for a short-term project, they will give you. Why? Banks has the capacity, banks has an obligation to repay back to the so-called depositors. And if you are saying that I will give after 20 years, 30 years, which bank will be ready to do the business if they are getting the returns after 20 years? One of the biggest challenges, if you do understand, ladies and gentlemen, in the infrastructure projects is getting that capital is the problem. Because long-term gestation projects is going to create unsustainable burden. We are not assured when this project will complete, when we are going to get the return, when we are going to pay. I may be borrowing from the bank. Now the bank will start asking you, give me the debt, or you give me the interest rate right from now. After completion, you can clear the principal amount. So one of the biggest challenges here in the infrastructure projects is this. As they are long-term projects, along with this, as they require huge money to operate in the economy, in order to complete this project, I require huge money. These two combinations makes my returns to come very low. Returns are far away. When returns are far away, as it is requiring high money, I do not have the capacity for this. I have to go to a bank and I have to ask the money. I have to go to a bank and I have to take this money. Bank, how it will operate, we all know this. Bank takes the deposits from the depositors and they will lend for people like us, be it government or be it Adani Ambani, private. Why we are doing it? For long-term projects. What bank will do? Okay, you can pay principal amount after 20 years or 30 years, that's completely fine. But regularly you have to pay interest rate. Every month you have to pay interest rate. So one biggest challenge here is, in the long-term infrastructure projects, there is interest rate that you have to pay. You may have taken 100 crores. Every month, bank will be asking you to pay 1 crore as interest. So in short, if you take 100 months to complete the project, you have paid interest rate of 100 crores already. Still you have to pay principal. So long-term projects, if I am borrowing, it is going to create burden on repayment. Burden of repayment. Who has to repay? After 20 years, whoever is present, they will repay. So future generations has to pay it. So today we are borrowing, future generations has to pay. This is one problem in this. Infrastructure problems is this. So what you have to do, you have to complete the project as quickly as possible. I cannot delay the project. Complete as much early as possible. For that, I should get the clearances quickly. I should have no law and order problems. Once everything is ready, we will start this project. In ethics, we have studied this. Take for example, Hyderabad Metro. Who was the director of it? Metro man, Mr. Sridharan was the director of this project. So what he did, when people were quarreling about the law and order problems in procurement of the land for the construction of this metro, project was about to delay. Now what this gentleman did, with his acumen, he said that, okay, I am not having the space to erect the pillars. And he asked the department to construct ready-made pillars so that once the clearance is coming, he will shift that pillars and he will plant it there. So that was the technology that they were asked to carry on. Now L&T was ready to do it with this direction, and they fabricated the pillars outside. Once they have got the clearance, without any delay, they have bought that pillars and they started planting it. Within short span, within the time that they said, they completed the project. This is the acumenship that we want. So, in order to stop this unsustainable burden on the future generations, you have to complete the project effectively. For that, all these things has to be done very, very quickly. These are the things that is required in infrastructure projects. So one of the biggest challenges is this. If government cannot alone take the burden, go for private players. Private players alone cannot take the burden. As a result, there is partnership. You partner, I bring some amount, you bring some amount. We'll pay regularly. Complete the project within a short span of time, as early as possible, without any delays. Then we can ensure that it is going to work effectively. This is one thing that you have to understand. So what I am discussing, for those who are not able to follow, I said investments is capital required for business, whatever the business that you want to do, infrastructure or anything. For that you require money. Money is called investments. Who is going to keep money? If it is government, it can be union government or state government. If it is private, it can be any private player. But if you go all alone, you have positives and negatives. To overcome this, we will design a technology, or we will design an agreement where both the players will come together, where we will enhance our positives and thereby eliminate our negatives. Through this, we can achieve our desired objective. Through this, we can achieve our desired objective. This is one positive that we have. However, the problems for infrastructure projects are, as they are long-term gestation projects, there will be unsustainable burden, hence we require these things. So the problem is, even if we come together and if still the project is delayed, then that is the biggest problem. The problems in this model is having this. So we'll come to this. So what I said, and how we can get private investment, FDIs and FPIs. This is the basic that you should know. These are the basics that you should know. Now, before taking you to the actual core theme of the discussion, I want to make you clear one more thing. Look at this. Whenever I want money, I am going to a bank and I am getting it. And banks are creating unsustainable burden. Is there any other way where I can finance these projects? Is there any other way where I can finance these projects? That is the biggest question. Because banks are creating, see, whenever you want to get long-term capital, interest rate should be high. If I say to the bank I am going to pay it in 1 year, they will say, okay, interest rate will be low. If I say I will pay after 10 years, he will say, okay, you pay higher interest rate. So one of the challenges for long-term project is getting capital is difficult. Banks will not be ready to give. Even if they are ready to give, they give at higher interest rate, and it creates unsustainable burden. Now, is there any other mechanism for the government to overcome this? Can I get money from any other source? Normally, government will have revenues from the so-called taxes. I cannot increase taxes beyond a point. So is there any other source? For that, what Government of India did is, for investments, particularly into this infrastructure projects and these things, over a period of time, Government of India launched some models or certain funds. The first fund is National Investment Fund. Second one is National Infrastructure Investment Fund, launched in 2005 and launched in 2015. They have launched these two funds. What is National Investment Fund under Ministry of Commerce? This is under Ministry of Commerce. This is under Ministry of Finance. What is National Investment Fund? National Investment Fund is that fund where Government of India will be receiving money from all the disinvestment projects. From all the disinvestment projects. If Government of India, we are speaking about Government of India is going to disinvestment from Vizag steel plant. If they disinvest, the money that they get will be sent to it. Whatever the disinvestment amount will be there, they will send it to NIF. Guys, this is going to end after 10 minutes. Use the same link again and try to join the class. Right, I'll be using the same link to join the class again. If the link is expired, I'll share the link again, okay? So, after 10 minutes, please join. So, disinvestment, money will come to this. Whatever the disinvestments Government of India is doing, they will pull it. And from this, they will be using it for infrastructure projects. No need to borrow. Whatever the amount I have disinvested, I'll get it and I will be using it for long-term projects. The second way that they thought to get it is, now this will reduce the burden. No need to go to the bank and ask, because bank gives borrowings. Disinvestment is at least no burden on us. National Infrastructure Investment Fund, if you go, here what Government of India said is, they will be collecting the money, not from the bank, but government says, those whoever is ready to keep investments with us, you can come and keep with us. Take for example, Government of India is said to other governments, if Saudi Arabia wants to keep its money in a project, they can come and keep. What they will get? They will get returns in the long term. Once we start the business, once the business is successful, you will get the returns. So National Infrastructure Investment Fund is designed in such a way that Union government will launch it. Now whoever is interested to contribute to it, you can contribute. You will become the stakeholder of that. After the project is completed, once it starts giving us profits, we will be giving you dividends. This is another way, rather than borrowing, Government of India started coming out. So this is National Infrastructure Investment Fund that Government of India launched to substitute its public borrowings. So rather than borrowing from the government can get it through this means. Government can get it through this means. Like this, Government of India started two funds to pool its money for investments all alone. If government wants to give money, they can give money for public infrastructure. Through this investments, government will be getting it. Private people, they can also get it through bank borrowings, or they can issue stocks, shares. If Jio wants to expand, Jio will Reliance shares, you can go and buy. They will get the money, they will have it. This is how various models that is there. These are the things or the basics that you have to understand before going into the topic called investments. This is something those who have prepared for prelims also, you'll be knowing what I have said. But the basics is this: investment is the capital, money that is required to start any project. If government is keeping 100% money, that is called public. If corporates are keeping 100%, that is called private. A collaboration of public and private is called public-private partnership. The second thing is, if governments keep 100%, what is the problem with it? Governments cannot sustain any business on its own because it has its own positives, it has its own negatives. Similarly, private people also have its own positives and negatives. So we have to come out with an agreement where we can synergize the positives, thereby converge the positives, and thereby overcome the differences or divergence. For that, we have a model known as public-private partnership. I will discuss about private partnership after that. But investments for private players can come from FII and FDI. Whatever the FDI benefits are there, that benefits will be applicable for every sector. Be it a defense sector, multi-brand sector, anything, whatever you have, you will have it. Now, from where government will get the money? Government can get the money from banks, but it is creating unsustainable debt over a period of time. You find for alternatives. Alternative is finish the public-private partnership project within short span of time. Go for the so-called Government of India reforms. Government of India needs like National Investment Fund, National Infrastructure Investment Fund. Don't borrow always. You have these mechanisms to overcome this problem. Like this, you have. This is the basic that is required to discuss or to understand investment questions. To answer the investment questions, these are the basics that we have to know. I hope now everyone is clear on this. I'll give you 1 minute of time. Anything so far, whatever the question that you have, you can ask me. Anyone, any question? Six students have joined the class. Likita, Pavani, Sudharma, Sunil. Can I continue? Right. Look at this. So, what I said so far, for a quick summary, I said, what is investment? From where I can get investments, Government of India or state governments or private persons, that private persons can be your own investors, or they can be investors from foreign land. So from foreign land you will be having foreign institutional investors, but we are not bothered about them because they will not keep in long-term infrastructure projects. So this fellow's question will not come here. So who is going to come for long-term? Long-term investments are going to be FDI. So FDI advantages are, already I said, these things we discussed. But if we start this program, government has its own problems, private players have its own problems. So what I require is, I require a convergence between public-private partnership. So they have to go for an agreement in this, both the players go for an agreement and you create a partnership that is called public-private partnership. Public-private partnership. These agreements are called concessional agreements. Government will give some concessions to the private players so that they will come. Say for example, today, this week in the state of Andhra Pradesh, there was a great discussion that is going on. Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is privatizing in the name of public-private partnership. He is giving government hospitals to the private players, which is giving at a very concessional agreement. So if government keeps 7,000 crores on the project that they have started, they will complete it. But now government is saying I cannot keep 7,000 crores. As a result, I am giving it to private players, and they call it as public-private partnership. Right. So these models they are coming and they are saying concessional agreements they are making. Now we'll discuss about that. After this, what I said, governments can get money or private people can get money from the banks. But one of the challenges from the banks is unsustainable debt. If you don't pay tomorrow, our next generation has to pay. So debt is going to be for future generations. So you find for alternatives, look for National Investment Fund, National Infrastructure Investment Funds. This is other alternatives that we have. I said what is the difference between them? Even private players can get it. These are the things. So this is the thing. Apart from that, I said you have infrastructure projects. One of the challenges for infrastructure projects is they are long-term projects. It is very difficult to get the loan. Long gestation projects requires difficult to get the loan. You have to pay interest rate larger. So this is the challenge for getting money here. So in order to find the solutions, we have this model. This is the basics that I have covered, which they have asked for prelims also. With this basics, we have to deduce the content. If you know this, this is more than enough for investment topic. Questions will be revolved around here. This is the core. This is the strategy first. Once you know this, you have to deduce. This is the outline. The entire picture of investments is this. Now, how many types of PPP models are there? What are there? That is not required. But we have to understand what is PPP, what is this agreement, when this agreement will be a win-win situation for both the players, government and private, and then what are the problems in PPP, how to overcome these problems. Similarly, what are the advantages of FDI, how it is going to be helpful, how we can overcome the unsustainable burden. More or less the questions will be revolved around here. This is the first thing that we have to understand. Now, after saying you the route, if you understand this and if you remember this, this is more than enough for answering any question from investment. Why I say this? Now let's look at the previous year questions first. Then you'll understand whether what I said is correct or not. So previous year questions, let's try to look from 2025 to 2014. Last 11 years, what are the questions that they asked from this topic? Then you'll understand whether we can address that with the content that I have provided it or not. Right. So I'll be discussing previous year questions. Then I come to the content discussion again. So let's now get an idea about what is the length and breadth of the subject, what they are asking. So it will get